What's up, Internet Land? This is Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, bringing you another Transformers third-party review. Today I'm going to be reviewing not necessarily a new figure, but it's a figure that I've had for a while, and I wanted to show it off. I don't know that many people have this figure. Um, it was big when it came out, but then it kind of like faded into obscurity a bit. I think that it's a fantastic figure, so I'm going to share it with y'all. This is the Maketoys Stryker Manus. Now, Maketoys was getting into this cross dimension subline, and they basically kind of made their own like sub canon to the whole Transformers thing, and so the idea is that there's this like alternate universe and something happened and they all got reformatted, and the book that comes with this guy actually shows a number of figures, Hound and Jazz and the Seekers, and a few characters that have been reformatted in some interesting ways. We got Stryker Manus, and then we got Rider Despotron. Came out in the same line. That was their version of Megatron. Turns into a cool like double-barreled gun thing. And I don't have that one yet. I do plan on getting it. But the thing that appealed to me about this line is you've got it's a really interesting visual style for Transformers, and there's a real emphasis on posability of the figures. These figures are very, very full of character and just very action oriented, and that was something that I really enjoyed about them. And so I'm pretty much sold on this line, even though this is kind of all I got. There's been a lot of stuff to get, guys. Jeez. But yeah. So here's Stryker Manus. He looks really good. He looks really good from the front, from the back. He looks pretty good. Not a lot of like crap going on back here, and not even a whole lot of hollowness in his legs, even though there is some. But it just, it's a figure that's got like really great surface detail and mechanical detail, and it has a fair amount of shelf presence. The paint apps on this are really, really clean. You've got these clear parts here, and then you've also have ones stuck into the arm. This will turn into the cab mode. I'll show you that in a moment. And they're actually molded in like a clear blue plastic and then painted on the backside. All the sculpted detail is on the same piece of plastic. It's just painted silver and then attached on. And so, but you can see this like outline of like a matrix in there. It's just the yellow is really good, sharp gold and silver here. I like all this detailing on these like arm shields. I like that it has, people complain, oh, arm shields, it's just like a weird looking Classics Prime. It's not. It's nothing like Classics Prime. And yeah, it does have these, shield things on the arm, but they are not much larger than the arm itself. They don't stick out super huge, and I think they look perfectly serviceable. And the paint apps on it are excellent as well. Going down, you've got this gray plastic insert here with some paint apps at the top there. I bought this from, actually it was a birthday present from my wife, but we got it through TF Source. First one I got actually had a mismolded part up here. Part of this panel here was missing. When the plastic had been injected into the mold, it just hadn't filled that cavity fully, and so he was missing part of his toe. But I was able to exchange that out without any problem. But yeah, this is a great figure. The head is on a ball joint. It moves all around, a lot of range of articulation, up and down quite a bit, side to side, moves all the way around. Just, you can get a lot of character out of just the simple placement of a head. The shoulders are on these big ball joints here. And then they also have a hinge up here that that allows his arm to move all the way out. Just large range of posability here. Bicep at the rotation at the upper bicep. No double joint on the elbow, even though it looks like there certainly could be, but there is a good range of articulation, like it moves quite a bit. For wrist, you've got a rotation here. The fingers will move out. You've got 3 fingers here and 1 finger, so you can have the kind of pointing if you point like this, which nobody ever really points like this, but if you do, then you can. Also, you can take and you can, this is really a transformation joint, but you can get a little bit of use out of it in posability, and I'll get into that in a little bit. It has all of the ab crunch. That's just, that's just as much ab crunch as you could possibly need. Rotation at the waist. He's got these little hip skirts that they don't really do anything. But it is, also important to they'll move out of the way a bit when you move the leg up, because you can move the leg up a fairly considerable amount. I mean, pretty much all the way forward, all the way back. Figure can do about 85% of a Van Damme. So a good range of posability there. The knees are double jointed, and you've got an incredible bend to them. The ankle is not on a ball joint, but it is on, you've got a hinge here, right? And then you've got a swivel down below that here. And then also at the heel itself, you've got another hinge here. And so you have like a large range of posability in the foot, also a little toe joint here. And what that allows you to do is just, get some just wide stances and wild, posability, and it's a character that just has it just feels, like we're used to having Transformers that make these chunky, static looking poses, and the poses that this guy does are just so easily dynamic. And that's something that I've always liked with my figures. I always enjoy, putting figures into dynamic poses and keeping them around. One of the things I do like about this is that for a lot of figures, when you put them into a dynamic pose, they end up being kind of unstable. And this one doesn't really do that. It, if you pose it correctly, he'll keep that pose and he'll stand even if you accidentally bump your shelf or something like that. If there is a complaint that I can say about this, and this would be kind of a nitpicking thing, it doesn't have a lot of heel support. It would have been nice if it had more, but the amount that it has works out well for the figure. In terms of accessories, he comes with his one ion blaster here, which again, compared to the classic Optimus Prime, turns into a wind vane for the top of the cab. He also comes with his smokestacks pop off, and are these like weird little axe things. And all of his weapons, by the way, if you notice here, he's got this little dovetail groove cut into his hand. And all of the weapons have got a corresponding tab on the handle. And that will slot into his hand. Let me get that lined up properly. And the nice thing about that is that allows him to hold his weapons securely and without, it doesn't, why is this giving me trouble today? It's probably because the camera's on. I don't normally have any kind of a problem with this. But just today, all of a sudden, it's like, no, I don't want to go in there. I'll have to double check to see if there's any kind of a damage or whatnot in that. No, I think it's just being obstinate. Do not be obstinate. There we go. But I mean, you don't use the hand at all, basically, like the fingers or whatnot, to hold the weapon in the hand. So it allows for very secure, very good looking pose without, you know, any fear of like it falling out when you tap it or bump it or whatnot. And the choice of dual like little hatchet axes is a little weird, I think. In practice, I don't normally pose the figure with the axes, but you know, I kind of, you know, understand that they're trying to do something different and trying to, you know, not go with the expected when it comes to figures, you know, in this line. Another thing that these will do is you can take these axes, and this, by the way, is a function that I've never had any use for, and put them like that, plug them into each other, and get this like weird like double axe thing, except that like it looks like a weapon that that would be more clumsy than useful. But yeah, you know, it's a thing. It's a thing. These will plug into the tab. They hold fairly securely, though when you bump them a lot, they'll come off. So I typically tend to turn them off or pull them off when I'm going into the transformation. And let's go into the transformation now. To get this guy transformed up, we're going to start at the leg. If you bend the knee, this gray insert here is tabbed into the front of his knee. You just kind of pull on that. That will unclick there. This whole assembly is on a double joint, and this will swing down. You'll see this this circular feature here that's going to line up with the back tire, and it's going to click back in down here. Then this tab is going to go into that slot right there. And then you're going to open up his toe by pulling that forward, lifting this up, and then there's a tab right here, and that tab will fit into this slot. That is a pretty tight fit, by the way. So just feel free to shove on it, and it'll click in just like that. And we'll do the same with the other side. Unclick that, move this down, get the foot out of the way. Snap that into its position, put the tab in, fold, fold, tab. It's interesting to point out, I don't think anybody has ever talked about this, but there are slots in here that do not get used for anything at all. When you tab the legs together, like they tab in on this tab right here, and that's how the legs go together, and they've got a little tab down here. These little slots don't get used for anything at all. And I've speculated that that's going to be for some sort of a trailer hitch function, but Maketoys has never announced that or demonstrated that or shown that or teased it or anything like that. This is all pure speculation on my behalf. So to go onto the upper body, what we're going to do is we're going to grab just the upper part of his chest. We're going to pull on that. This is going to come up, and then we're going to rotate it at the upper chest. We're going to bend this ab crunch. So you've got these two wheels here, and this corner right here doesn't really like to get past this corner very well. I've had this since it was brand new, basically, and I've got just the littlest amount of paint wear there, but it's, you know, nigh unto unnoticeable, and it doesn't show up in alt mode or robot mode, and so I'm not worried about it. It doesn't bother me. You know, it's just a thing that you got to do to wrestle it past that point. So we're going to take his head. It comes up on this hinge, and this is actually a little tab right here. That's going to tab into his dick plate down here. Kind of like so. It's not a real rigid tab, so you kind of got to, you know, babysit it a bit while you're messing with it. We're going to run to the arms quick next. So you've got this ball joint here, right? If you pull on that, this all comes out, and this is actually on another ball joint back here. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to, we'll start with this position. We're going to take the arms, we're going to turn them like this. We're going to open this up. Oh, no, sorry. I wanted to turn them forwards like that. Yeah. Open this up. And we're going to rotate it at the second ball joint back there. We're not going to do anything with it yet. We're just going to put it in that. We're going to park it there for a moment because we have to get these going first. So the bicep swivel actually is on the joint that opens this way. So what you need to do is once the arms are in this position here where they're starting to be back, you want to rotate the bicep forward and then pull it at that joint. That's going to allow you to start to get this over the tire. You're going to open up the back of his arm. You're going to fold his hand in, but you're not going to close this back up. And what's going to happen is, you see this tab here? This tab will plug into one of these slots on the back of the arm. Like so. And then inside here, there's going to be, you can kind of see this tab right here. There's a corresponding slot inside what was the back of the arm. That's going to tab into there. And that is the essence of that attachment all coming together. We'll just move this into the proper alignment. Once that works out, then you're going to, oh, I missed a key step. Not even super key, but kind of key. So when you're putting the legs up, you want to actually take these and fold the skirt armors up. This is going to make it so that it's going to help keep everything aligned, and it's going to get them out of the way, because otherwise they will fight with the elbows right here. So throw that back into position real quick. I'm really sorry about losing that order of operation. Put this back into position. Oh, I folded them the wrong way. Now it seems like I don't even know what I'm talking about. Had this figure since it first came out, and like I don't even know what I'm talking about. Seriously, guys. No, sorry, the skirt armors moved down, not up. So that's all in position there. You do the same with the other arm. Move that back, rotate this forward, unclick that from that joint there, open up the back of his wrist, fold the hand in, pull this up just to get it out of the way. Slot, tab. Other slot, other tab. And that always just kind of lines up. So these panels here, when they are pushed all the way forward, they stay put. And when they're pushed all the way back, they stay put. And anywhere in between, they just kind of flop around. So you just want to like pull these back, and then this slot goes onto this tab here. And that will help keep all of your, you know, upper body shenanigans in check. Help to more cohesive make this thing. So there's a tab. I'm sure you notice that this looks specifically like a tab. That goes in this slot on the little fuel tank thingamajig, like so. Put that for the other side as well. And then we're going to take this panel right here. This comes out on a double joint. And you'll notice, look, there's yet another tab right here. So this is going to slide up on that double joint it's going to go into that tab, and then it's going to kind of push back in and hang out. There is also, by the way, another tab on the inside of this panel that will go into this cavity in the what is above the bicep swivel, and that, so we're going to plug that tab into there, plug that tab into there, and that helps keep that all super cohesive. Again, do the same for the other side. Then we're going to take this, put this up, snap that into place. And that's all looking pretty good. The gun here is going to fold in the end of the gun, collapse this all the way down. This handle is going to come around and fit into this slot right there. You're going to open this up while you pull this around, and then you're going to end up with something that looks kind of like this. And this is going to tab right into here. There is tabs and slots that help keep the gun together in gun mode, and there's a corresponding set of slots on the top of the cab. So this is just going to slide in, tab into those spots, and everything is going to be awesome. Then we're going to take these, we're going to plug them back in to where they originally were. Like if you're like a super wizard, you can get them to stay in place the whole time. I am not a super wizard, as I'm sure you've all have noticed if you've been with my channel for longer than 20 minutes. And there he is in his robot mode, sorry, his vehicle mode. And in his vehicle mode, he is like super solid. Like everything is in its proper place. Nothing really wants to come untabbed. And people have been like, look at the way his truck mode looks. It looks... But you know what? I like it. I like it. It's different than what you normally get from Transformers. It's a unique design. It has a lot of really interesting looking surface detail. And I just enjoy doing it. It is kind of a complicated design and complicated transformation, but I mean, I like complicated transformations as well. And it just looks really good all around. And this is a figure, you know, I mean, I don't generally keep it in the truck mode like this. It's cool that it transforms, but you don't get it for this mode. You get it for the robot mode. And I think that that's really, you know, what everybody's intention is with this figure, is to get it for the robot mode, have it looking kick-ass, you know, put it with their chug scaled figures, and, you know, maybe replace or supplement their classics Optimus Prime with something like this that just, you know, has a bit more character, has a bit more originality, has a bit more posability, a bit more dynamic looking. But I do also, you know, I don't hate this mode at all. Like, not even by a long shot. I think that looks great. It's just, you know, you get more play value out of a robot. Now, when they got this, this figure came out, and I purchased it. Actually, it was a birthday present. And pretty much as soon as I got this figure in, they're like, oh, by the way, and we're announcing a new one, and it's a black repaint. I'm like, son of a bitch. You guys and your black repaints. Because they seem to know that, like, nothing draws me more poignantly than the promise of black and red and gray. So, yes, they came out with this. It is literally the exact same figure, the exact same sculpt. Oh, hey, that was something I forgot to do on that figure. The hips move out like that. That's probably why. Yeah, there we go. And this just in, Zachamus Prime is confirmed to be a dumbass. But whatevs, it all works out. It's a well-designed figure, and it'll take a little mistake like that and just keep rolling. So this is the black repaint Stryker Noir. And everything is the same except for the colors. It's got, you know, black instead of red and black instead of blue. The gray's the same. It's got, you know, these aqua detailing, which I think looks pretty striking, I think. I get it, because it's Stryker Noir. Yeah. The translucent, what was translucent orange on the Stryker Manus is translucent red Stryker Noir. I don't know offhand if that is like molded in a different color of plastic. Of course, it's molded in a clear plastic and then painted silver, most of it. So I think it's molded in that red. But a lot of the same stuff, like just the color, like really, really pops on this guy. And I think that's what's always interested me about the black repaints is you throw in a little bit of color and just like it just becomes such a keynote, you know. But it has all the same posability, it has all the same functionality. It comes with all the same accessories. Actually, that part's a complete lie. By the way, when I bought this figure, I got it from my buddy at titanonetoys. Actually, I think that this may have been. No, this was the second figure I got from him. First figure I got from him was the KFC Simba. But this guy also comes with just a crap load of weapons. And these came all on sprues. And you had to assemble them yourself. Most of them were just like really, really, like not even an assembly. You take these things and you're like, hey, this just comes straight out in one piece. And hey, this just comes straight out in one piece. But, I mean, in addition to being like a super cool black repaint, like it comes with a bunch of weapons. And at that point I was like, you know what? I really can't pass on it. So I picked it up and I haven't regretted it at all. Each weapon does come with that, little tab system that I mentioned earlier. And so they're all compatible with each other. You can use all these weapons with the Stryker Noir, or you can use them with Stryker Manus, or you can use them with Rider Despotron, or even the latest ones that came out, Thunder Erebus and Thunder Manus. They'll work with anything you want. They've got like a version of his classic looking ion rifle, which I think looks okay. He's got like a sweet like sniper rifle thing. And this makes use of that posability that I mentioned, where the wrist tilts like that. So you kind of like plug that into there. And then he's just got this like sweet big old sniper rifle. Looking for someone downrange to put some rounds in, right? These weapons here have got a tab in them, and that is meant to attach onto the back of in this tab here, so you can have some like knives on his arms. You can also take these and plug them. There's two of them, one for each arm, but you can take them and plug them into this sniper rifle here. Like so, and like so. And so now he can have, you know, a sniper rifle with blades on it, or you can pull this out of that handle and hold it by the stock here instead, and have it like a big old like sniper rifle slash sword, which is really cool looking. It's a really interesting design. I don't know that I've ever really seen a sniper rifle slash sword before. Comes with another big sword like that. Comes with these little handguns, which, you know, they kind of meet your Akimbo style dual handgun, you know, scratch that itch. But also you can take them and you can plug them into these panels on this upper leg. And they'll sit in there Robocop style. Got a place to hold that. Actually, most all these guns can be held up all at the same time, because you've got these items here that you can take and you can plug into. There's these holes here, and this will plug into. How does this want to plug in? I think it wants to plug in like this. And then you can take, you know, a gun, and you can, we're going to take this gun here, slot it into there. Or take one of these weapons and mount it on that little peg that sticks out of there. So he can hold more weapons on his back. You can take, instead of using these axes, and this is actually one of the ways that I prefer to use him. This has got the same little features on it, and so you can mount these. You can take this little like submachine gun apart, and you can use, by the way, this part just separately by itself. But you can plug them on top of each other like that, and then you can plug them into there like that. And now he's got, you know, guns on his shoulders instead of little axes, and that's cool. You can take some of his weapons. This piece right here is like this big ass handle thingamajig. You plug the sword into that, and he can hold it like a big, like really long bladed weapon thingamajig. Also comes with a couple like katana-ish. They're really heavy on the end, but katana-ish swords. So he comes with a bunch of weapons, and they all look really great, and they all work really great. And since I knew I wanted to get more figures in this line, and I knew that all of these figures, all of these weapons were going to be useful for all of the figures, I'm like, man, so I pretty much have to get that. This is actually an accessory for Rider Despotron, which I don't have yet. Get the figures. If you're interested in this this line here, like, get the figure, because it comes with the weapons pack. It's going to have all sorts of nice little things that your figure can do, and increase, like massively increase your, you know, display ideas, and the things that you can do with it, and the stuff that the poses you can put it in, and just the way you display your figure will change up. But these figures, I think, come very highly recommended. Both Stryker Noir and Stryker Manus. I really think that you should get them if this is the sort of thing that appeals to you. Which, goddamn, that is the sort of thing that appeals to me. Anyhow, everybody, thanks for watching. You guys are all awesome. You guys get 2 thumbs up from me. You guys. And I'll see you around. Have a great day and be good to each other. See ya.